Welcome, everybody, to the Dave Bike Head Coaches Show. As always, joined every week by the head coach of the Sacred Heart men's basketball team, Dave Bike. And, Coach, you guys are off to a 3-1 start. That's a really nice way to start this season. The best start since the 2007-2008 season. A great effort. Very easily could have been 4-0 also. You had a great effort against Central. The Blue Devils end up pulling it off at the end. But to your credit, you come back with a great effort against Quinnipiac, a hard-fought-for game in Hamden. Just talk about your efforts this week and what you saw.
Well, we're thinking positive there, thinking that we could have been 4-0. I think, it could have went, some of the other games could have went the other way too, So you want to win those close ones. I think every game could have been a different outcome, And our overall stats for those games aren't dominating 3-1 stats. But, you got to win close ones. We won the close ones there. We hung in there. We've been playing pretty good ball. I think even prior to the 2 eggs we laid at George Washington LaSalle, But all that stuff is over with. We're in the conference, and hopefully we'll just play good basketball the rest of the way.
It's all about the backcourt with you, and we know what Shane Gibson can do, and he's having another great year, dropping 20-point games left and right. But the emergence of Phil Gaetano and Stephen Glowiak, and these two really keep getting better and better in their sophomore seasons. Every game. Glowiak with 22 points against Central, follows that up with 21. Gaetano's dishing the ball better than anybody in the NEC, any point guard. What is it about those two? What have they done to get to this point?
Well, we wonder sometimes why people, even Tom Moore made a comment after the end of the game, how his team, sometimes guys only value their points, their offense, and why kids think that way, players think that way. Maybe it's because we talk about the points all the time, So there's no doubt that you got to have more points than the other team, and if you take in Goliak's case, he's scoring at a better pace. But I really believe that he's too good an athlete to only be a shooter. I mean, I think he's got to help us in other areas. I thought they had some lapses the other day in defense, but I think he could. I think he's been hustling. I like his attitude, And on the other hand, so I'm saying in Phil's case, in Steve's case, we want him to do more than just consider himself a shooter. In Gaetano's case, he all the other attributes he brings. And guess what? We'd like to see him shoot more or make more shots, So, but there's no doubt that the backcourt has helped us, but we're not going to go as far as we want without a contribution by everybody in all different ways.
Few of the guys in their post-game comments after the Quinnipiac game talked about how this team is taking the mentality of the court that every game is like a playoff game, and really in conference season it kind of is, because what's there, a total of 17, 18 games to put yourself in position to make a good run in March. How difficult is that to keep that intensity up throughout the course of a 2-month season, though?
Well, I think I might have an excuse at the age that I'm at, but I think guys that are playing, and I shouldn't have an excuse, but I'm saying I think it's a little different if a guy playing like Gibson's case now. He's been here 5 years, and he's only got a few games left. I mean, damn, if you can't get ready for 2 games a week, some of these guys, want to play on afterwards and stuff. But if, like you said, there's only 18 games in the season, in the conference thing, you better be ready to play all the time. And they are very important. I mean, every game's worth double. You're either going to be ahead of that team by 1 game that you beat, or you're going to be behind by 1 game. So the conference games are important, especially in the league we're in, where we're only a 1-bid conference, and we just want to go out there and try to play good basketball and get a good seeding, and get into the tournament, get a good seeding, and then make some noise in it.
It's only one play, but Louis Montes threw down a pretty mean dunk at Central that made SportsCenter top 10. And I know it's just 2 points. Actually, it was 3 because it was an and 1 and he got to the foul line. But that kind of play and that ability and that fearlessness, taking it to the rim, you must have liked that as the head coach. And what do you see from Louis this year? Is that kind of indicative of how he's emerging as well?
Well, I asked Louis today, right before practice, actually, that when he's at his best game, is it because he's playing a finesse game? And just a smooth, or is he playing, we use the term, like a man? I mean, like when he goes after it and stuff like that. I said, hey, the game he had a lot of points and he made a couple outside shots, which is fine. but he didn't have that good game at 35 points because he was just a finesse and draining long shots. I mean, we want to see him go to the basket, be good around the basket. If you check a number of his rebounds this year, they would make a highlight film, you know. But I'd rather see a guy get more rebounds and less highlights, you know, which I think he has done for us. And we need him to play well. We need him to be a strong inside presence.
All right, finally, I know you're not too big on the geography thing, but you're going out to Western Pennsylvania, and that is a unique trip in that you're gone for 4 days. You're on the bus together for 8 hours plus on the way out and on the way back. You talk to different coaches around the NEC in different sports, and it's a good time to bond as a team, all that time together and on the road. What do you look at this trip as? I mean, there's a couple ways it could go, but I guess the positive being you're together for 4 days and you have a 3-1 record. Great opportunity here to go out to Western Pennsylvania and do some damage.
Well, anytime you play, you have an opportunity to do well, you know, and I hope we don't throw our bonding out because we're flying out, you know what I mean? So we won't be out there 8 hours on the bus, you know. So maybe on the plane we get together. It's one of those smaller planes to Pittsburgh, so we'll be close next to each other and stuff. And but you know, it's a battle out there. You know, we've played pretty good ball and over those trips, and then we have to continue to play good ball. But every conference game is important, and Robert Morris is a contender. That's the first one we got to look at, and then St. Francis, like I said, that wins help you in a conference and losses hurt you. So hopefully we can grab one or two.
Guess I should have checked the travel itinerary before the interview, but I should be. I would love to, but I'm not. You guys are going out. We are still looking forward to it. We'll be following. Good luck in Western Pennsylvania, and continue success on building on that 3-1.
Thank you, Randy.
Coach Dave Bike, head coach of the Sacred Heart men's basketball team. Again, it's out to Western Pennsylvania. Robert Morris and St. Francis of Pennsylvania for the 3-1 Pioneers this weekend.